Okay, so I've started the recording. So why don't you hit from the beginning on your presentation, Viola?
Well, this was the beginning here.
No, up in the upper left-hand corner. See,
Oh, from the beginning.
yeah.
Okay, there we go. So it was just better. It's better. So and thank you all of you, for being a captain. Captains are really, really important of the USTA League. We wouldn't have teams. It wasn't because of you guys putting recruiting and doing lineups. I mean, it's not like it says there, leading a USTA team is not without asking. It's a lot of work and commitment and time. So we really appreciate it. And if you're a new captain or experienced, we are here to help you to lead your team. You can email me, you can text me, you can call me anytime that you have a question. Please feel free to contact me. I will be more than happy to help you. And then these are the people that are in the part of the league. Christy Bennett, she's the director of Adult League Tennis, and she will be.
Oh, I'm not seeing it.
You're not seeing?
John, do you see the next slide or?
I'm still on the first one. Welcome to Mixed
Yeah,
Eight.
let me just go over and double check what's going on. Yeah, I don't know.
Which screen is she? Maybe it's clicked onto the wrong screen that she's sharing.
That could be. But it shouldn't matter. She's switching the, yeah, let me do it this way. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's try one more time. There we go. Oh. So that you can see, right? You can see the captains?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
and now so that's the blue
Okay.
screen. Yep.
There we go. There we go. Okay.
Sorry about that. So we already went over this. So we are in the welcoming introduction. I hear that Christy is already with us. So she's the director of tennis. And Peter Scherer, he's the league manager. And Lance is the president, the chair of Eastern Mass State Association. He's also with us, and myself. And these are, the general email addresses. And just make sure that when you send me an email, to only use this email.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I don't think we're actually on the screen that you think we are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Viola,
we're not
yeah.
seeing the slides. We're still on the first slide.
I think you may have to
No,
you may have to move the mouse to the slide that you want to present.
Yeah.
just click on that. Like if you're on the third one, just go to the left and click on the third one.
Because
And
I
you
did
just have to
this
keep
one.
clicking this.
Here. Can you see that then?
We see the first one.
Okay.
But last time when you click on the second one, it worked. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Why don't we do it this way? You do these, okay? Here,
But I cannot see it here. How you get that one?
okay. That I can do. Okay. And you'll just click on these, okay?
Just click.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. The third one is the charm here. This here. Okay, so we have, as I was saying, the EMA link, that's the email that I'm constantly checking, that's even the first one when I get up, that's the one that I check. And then the second link is all the information that you need to know about the Eastern Mass League. You can find it on the Eastern Mass USDA website. And this is the direct link, to the Eastern Mass USDA leagues. Then we have the link to the New England website, to the USDA, and to the Eastern Mass Facebook group, to the USDA New England Captains. It's another Facebook group. So if you don't belong to either of them, you can click on those and just to join. And to the New England online stores. And when I send the email with the recording, all the links will be clickable. Oops. Now, you said to just click to the next slide, and it's not moving. Yeah.
Click on the green slide.
Yeah. I'm sorry, what?
Click on the green slide.
Okay, let me, or just the, oh, this, okay. Also, got it now. Finally,
Okay.
sorry. So these are the Eastern Mass team. We had a lot of teams that went to nationals, and many of them did really well. Like they made it to Sunday, so which is the goal of all the teams, and they finished, in the top 4. They were on this top 6. So it's pretty good showing for the New England teams, for the Eastern Mass team that went to nationals. See, here are some other links that are also part of the that every captain should have handy, which is the team community form, which you guys did when you submitted the team for the Big 18, to modify a scorecard, to reschedule a match. The captain's corner, it has very good information there especially for new captains. And we have the 2023 New England Championship calendar also on the Eastern Mass website. And the new captains, pledges, and guideline to the USDA League Tennis. And I was looking for the 2023 Frenat Corp, but the only one that they have now is still the 2022. I really encourage you to go through all this link, because they're going to be very beneficial. And I was going to say, the one about the request to modify the scorecard. Every time someone, even if they send me an email that they want to either the reschedule or changing a scorecard because there was a mistake, I send the link to them. So make sure that because I'm not making changes just via the email, because that way with the form, it helps me to track what changes I need to make and that I don't miss any of the changes that I'm supposed to do. So I really encourage you to use this form every time you have to make a correction. We have to make a correction for the scorecard. These are, like I said, they're all clickable links. You will have the 2023 Eastern Mass Regulations. And these next 4 documents here, this is something as a captain, you should print and make sure that the captains have a copy of each one of these documents in their bags, because every time they come to a disagreement or clarification, the information, it will be in, especially the easy reference guide, because it's all about situation that could occur on the courts. And if they forgot how to determine the winner of a match when time expires, if someone doesn't know how to do it and they start arguing, you have that copy in your bag, you can show it and how it is supposed to end. So it's going to avoid a lot of disagreements on the court if you have this thing handy. So make sure that your players, have all that information. And
So Maricela, you have your hand up. Is that because you have a question?
who has a question?
I didn't know. Maricela had her hand up.
Oh.
Okay, keep going.
Also, when you submitted the team commitment form, you have to select if you wanted close or open, or close or open. What it does is if you selected close and didn't click on the yes also, that means that no one will contact you about if you need players or players that are looking for team wouldn't be able to contact you. But if you click close and yes, that you would like to receive information, they will be able to contact you to see if you have room in there for them to join your team. If you do open, they will be able to join the team without even asking, because they will be able to get the team number right away. So the most popular one is the close, but yes, that they would like to receive notification.
Is there any way that we can get all those links that you just mentioned?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Can you email us all those links that you just mentioned?
Oh yeah, yes. They're going to you mean that you want them like in the separate document? Because when I send the recording.
Yeah. So that way we have it handy, especially when we do score corrections and things like that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I can do
I
that.
appreciate it. Thank you.
And for some people that need a refresher, the days and the nights of play, these are all the leagues. That would say the Monday, they want to play Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays. And so you will have it handy here. So go to the next slide. And I have noticed that a lot of people have make corrections to their accounts to change it, they're correct, because sometimes they just put a different email address or a phone number when they were filling out to open create an account. But to be able to captains contact you to confirm the matches, we need to have the correct phone number and the correct contact information. And by having that, you just click and manage account. And if you need to change your phone number, your email address, just click on here, and then account settings, and the rest is just a drop-down menu that easy to figure out. So that's where you will change to make sure that you have the most current and correct contact information. And then from here, I'm going to let Christy talk about the USTA league suspension points.
Yeah, I think she had to
back.
step away.
I'm back.
Oh, you're back?
Just got-
Okay. good.
yep. I think most of you guys know that last year, the national office went to a national suspension point system, which simply means they're trying to move the adult league more to the way they do grievances and suspension points, the way the junior tournaments do. So if there's a grievance that is upheld and suspension points are attached to that grievance, then those suspension points are national. So if you happen to go play in Florida and you have suspension points, they will follow you to Florida, whatever state you happen to go to. Now, all that to say, this very rarely happens. We do have some grievances in New England, not as many as some of the other sections. And since I started, we've only had one that rose to the level of an actual suspension. And it was pretty egregious. So there is a new change also, though, is now they are going to be listed on Tennis Link. They're not public facing, but if somebody files a grievance against you and you have points associated with that grievance, you will be able to see your points on your account in Tennis Link. So if that happens, you will know if you're getting points. It's all very well documented. But you'll be able to see them, which is also a new change. Does anybody have any questions about the suspension point system? It does take 10 points to get suspended. And for instance, if you get a warning, that's 1 point. So that's, and then, depending on how egregious it is, the committee can assign more points.
I have a quick question. What are some of the things that are people doing to get these points?
A lot of it is unsportsmanlike conduct, cursing, disagreements that escalate into various forms of disrespect, name calling, occasional crossing the net. All of those things are grievance worthy. And
Equipment and racket abuse, or
equipment and racket abuse, banging a ball into somebody. The one that happened, we had, a player that came at a staff member at one of the championships this summer. So there are times when emotions get a little bit higher than they should.
The other area is ratings that, but can also generate a grievance. That's not as common, particularly in New England, but it is the one other area.
What did you mean with ratings?
If someone's a self-rated player and someone believes that they're serious out of level and they file an NTRP grievance, an NTRP grievance that's upheld will generate points.
Okay, thanks. And what about when sometimes they constantly calling out and you can see that it's in, but they keep calling out?
So that's kind of an interesting one, and that does happen, and you can file a grievance in those instances. What happens a lot of times, though, is that tends to be kind of a she said, and it's really hard for the committee to know what actually happens. Now, that being said, we're not discouraging anybody for filing grievances for any reason, but just know that a lot of times you need to be able to prove it or have some witnesses that could also state your case and talk to the committee as well.
Yeah, Christy, just one point on something like a line call. That is, the code is basically, you respect the call. It's very hard, and we've done this in conferences with tennis pros. We put balls down where the ball, and ask them to say whether the ball was in or whether it's out, and you can't easily see that. So just respect the call, do the best you can. These are unofficiated matches, so you just use good sportsmanship.
yeah, I have something that I copied that I was going to mention later. I mean, the one that is the code, like that tennis is a game that requires cooperation and courtesy. So in other words, give your opponents the benefit of the doubt on relatively unimportant stuff like few extra seconds to corral a third ball and things like that. The fewer disagreements lead to better flow to the game. Any other questions? Oh,
One last quick one, if you have to file a grievance, how do you go about doing that? You may have mentioned it and I apologize if you did.
So
well,
we'll have,
go
oh,
ahead, go ahead,
I
go
was just
ahead.
gonna say, I'll have Viola can send the link out. It's through a job form that you'll fill out. You need as much information as you can. And you fill out the job form. It needs to be a captain that does it. So if something happens and it's somebody on your team and they want to file a grievance, you will have to file it on their behalf. And you just submit the job form and it starts the process.
Thank you.
Okay. So Peter, you were going to talk about
Sure,
the-
there were three major changes, to the national regulations. Number one there, where they talk about eligibility disqualifications, that's basically 3 strike DQs for the majority of those. And it has to do with how long they have after a season is ended and still make the corrections where it impacts the standings. In New England, so they changed it so you could do it up to 2 weeks after the league has ended. In New England, when the league is over, the league is over. So if you have a 3 strike DQ in a different league, it's not going to impact the one that just ended. So that's number one. Number two, age-related appeals. Quite a few of they've made some changes where over 60, over 70, over 80, they're getting relatively liberal with it. You have to have reached the age. And this thing about no previous granted appeals, I should have added in there, no previous granted age-related appeals in the previous 5 years. So they don't want people that are taking advantage of the age related appeals with looser guidelines and that to do it year after year. And move up, split up is the teams that end up going to nationals. There were some really relaxed requirements and they've moved back to the previous probably more stringent requirements that anyone who qualified to go to national or went to national are subject to the move up, split up. Any questions on those? Some of those are a little esoteric. Okay, Viola.
Okay.
So on this one, I'll go ahead and take this. There are basically 2 things that happen here. One is for district championships and section championships in New England. You need, in order for someone to advance with the team in play, they need 2 matches on that team. A default counts. So you could play 2 matches or you could play 1 match plus a default and you're eligible to play in districts or sections. For nationals, you need, if you're computer rated, so if you have a C after your rating, you need 3 matches on the same team, one of which could be a default. If you have an S or an A, by the way, because this is mixed, I should have said it. If you have a C or an M, mixed exclusive, 3 matches on the same team, one of which could be a default. If you have an S or an A, so a self rate or an appealed rating, you need 4 matches on the same team, none of which can be a default in order to qualify to play at nationals. So 2 matches in New England, one of which can be a default, 3 for nationals, one of which can be a default. Self-rated players is the key one. Be sensitive. They need to have 4 matches in order to be able to play at nationals. Any questions on that one?
So we'll just go over some of the basic regulations. If you have an idea or thought that, you know, some rule should be changed, you can submit a proposal for a rule change, and it has to be in by May 1st to be reviewed and considered. And that will be, it will not be implemented this year. It will be the following year if it's approved. A player must register before playing a match, and we always emphasizing that to make sure that you check your roster, that the people that are supposed to play register for the team, because it's a shame that they go and play and all of a sudden when they're going to enter the score, the player didn't register, and then it's a default. So just make sure, make it a habit of just double checking to make sure that the players are registered. The registration fee is $23 and the match fee is $20. And it's the responsibility of the both captains to make sure that the match time and location is accurate. And also is and they should check what is the preferred method of payment and any protocols that the club might have, that even though nowadays they don't have that many because of the COVID, but COVID, I guess, is coming back. But so it's better to double check with the captains when you call to confirm the matches, and they should communicate about confirming the matches, 48 hours prior to noon of the scheduled match day. Oops. The home captain must specify the court surface if they are going to be. There's some clubs that have indoor clay, and not in this area. I think Whiteman might have. Whiteman has an indoor clay, no?
No, I think
Okay.
they're all outdoor clay.
Yeah. But there, I mean,
Indoor
the
is
South
hard
Shore,
court.
there is one that has, but just to make sure if the surface is going to be different. And also that needs to be confirmed, 48 hours prior to noon of the scheduled match day. The scores should be entered.
I think you've got to go up one. Did you skip that intentionally?
No, I missed one.
Yeah.
Oh, here, yes, thank you. This one is tricky because a lot of the clubs nowadays, they want you to write their name, the name of the players, and they want them to put the lineup, the positions they're going to be playing. I have sent several emails and I haven't heard any complaints again, that because some captains were complaining that they have to be given the lineup to the front desk. So the other team, when they came, they could see what the line is going to be. But the captains are the only ones that they exchange the lineup. The clubs that don't need to know, what the lineup is going to be. The only thing that they need is, you can write the name in any kind of order. So, but the captain need to exchange the lineups at the, at the same time before the start of the first match. And then no substitution will be made in an individual match after the lineup has been exchanged, except for an injury, if the injury was during the warm-up.
Maricela, yes.
It's a little confusing what Viola just said, because normally what we do is we write the name of the players, and then you just fold it and just show them who the other players that they come, so they don't see who is playing or what. Sometimes, of course, they take the tape and they see it, but most of the time they are, fine and just writing the name. So that's not gonna happen anymore? I'm a little confused.
Well,
No,
no,
that's correct, Maricela. It's just that some clubs during COVID had people write out the list ahead of time when someone would show up.
and some
If-
clubs wanted to know who was playing first position, the second and the third, when you got to the club.
Yeah, but each player write their name and which position they're playing.
Yeah, but there
So
were some that they wanted, the lineup there. But it looks like, it sounds to me that they're changing, so which is good. But just to make sure that you know that you don't have to give the lineup to the person at the front desk.
Just to clarify, the intent of the regulation is that the designated captains exchange a filled out score sheet, not a handwritten piece of paper with the individuals and who they're in which lines they're playing. So the idea is not for somebody to go to the match and write it down on one single sheet of paper. It's for the lineups to be exchanged. That's the intent of the regulation.
Now, that's gonna be a little difficult because not always as a captain, you are present in the match.
You're supposed to, in that case, if the captain is not there, they designate somebody who is representing them as the captain. This is not a new regulation. It has been in regulation for many years. It's
Yeah, that's what we do. But I never had any problem with lineups because we just go, each player write their names down, and then the other players, when they come, do the same thing.
Well, that's great. Because some things change, with the COVID, but things are coming back then to normal again. Then. So the makeup matches are allowed only for scheduled matches that are affected by specific holidays, weather, or extenuating circumstances, and approved contract time conflicts. So I mentioned the holidays, that they're approved by the league. Anything else, if it's not in your best interest to reschedule a match, you can say, no, we need to play as scheduled. So they need to play, let's say that if it's the three positions, they will have to play at least 2 positions to make it a valid match. If at that time they only have 1 position, you play that position, and then they will reschedule just 1 more position, and the third will be at default for the third doubles. Any questions about the reschedulings?
Is on December 23rd, that's on a Friday. Does that fall under the Christmas time frame?
Yeah, I would say so. Right, Lance?
yes, that is correct.
Okay, thank you.
And then make sure that you enter the scores after the matches. One captain will enter the scores, and then the other captain can go to confirm that the score were entered correctly. The scores are winner scores first. Some people still get confused with that one, with the entering the score, but it's the winner scores first. Entering scores, if not in those positions, are played for a valid match. If you have to, if you agree to reschedule a match, if there was a holiday or weather, if you play only 1 position, you will enter that position, and now Tennis Link is allowing you to enter let's say the other 2, that if they're going to be rescheduled, you can enter them as double default, even though there is only 1 position that was played before. Tennis Link will not accept it, but now it's accepting the matches that are not enough positions have been played, but it's accepting the scores. So even if a default or double default and one position was played, you can enter the score. And then as soon as those positions are played, to send me an email with the match number, the name of the players, the scores, and who won, so I can enter the score on Tennis League. And there is a form for that, for entering the scores of matches that were not completed too. So if you know that, like, let's say the 23rd, it's a Friday, that you're not going to be playing that day, I think it's recommended that you start already, maybe at the beginning of the season, to try to find a date when to play that match, not to leave it toward the end of the season to start working, because then you're running out of dates to play. So it's better to start early, see when there are the conflicts, and contact the other captain and let them know, and then to reschedule the match. If you don't agree with one of the scores that were entered, you can click dispute, but once you click dispute, just make sure that you fill out this form request to modify a scorecard. So just just fill the form, and I will get it, and I will confirm with the other captain to make sure that that is correct, and then I will make the change on Tennis League. Let's say that you go to a match to play, and they have confirmed the matches, we're going to play all 3 positions at 7 o'clock. And when you get to the club, they only have 2 positions, and they cannot play the 3rd. So the host team will be required to default that position where the court was not available. For example, they say they only have 1. So, and 2 cannot be played, then 1 will need to be rescheduled to avoid being a team default, and the 3rd one will be a default, but 2 will need to be played, and which means 1 play, 1 reschedule, and the other one will be a default. Which is in the event that the number of positions to be defaulted exceed the number of positions needed to win the match, then they will need to play the positions required to make it a valid match. Like in the mix, they have to play at least 2 positions, and the adult league, there is 5 positions, they need to play 3 positions. It has to be the majority of the matches played. And then when you have to reschedule, the visiting team will provide the home captain with 3 alternative dates from which to choose. And then if you guys cannot agree with the dates, and it's taking a long time to find a date to play the match, then you can always contact me, and we can try to find a date that works for both the team. This the communication with the opponent's captain and close must be made 48 hours prior to noon on the scheduled match date. If for some reason you don't have, they have to default a position or 2, you will need to call the captain, the club, to make sure that the court is canceled within this frame of time. Otherwise, you will be responsible for the full court fee. So to avoid that, if you think that you're struggling to get the players, just make sure that the courts are canceled before, because the clubs will contact me, saying, they defaulted late, they want to get paid. So, and if you have to default, the defaults are from the bottom up. If you have only 2 positions, you cannot default number 1 doubles and play 2 and 3. You have to default the 3rd doubles position. This here is something that is good for new, I call it Captain 101 basic, but it's I'm not going to read all of them, but you should read it because it has good information for new and for veterans captains as a refresher of things that should be done before, you know, the matches. So like printing the blank scorecard to review the score, and also this is really because so many times they don't neither of them have the one of them doesn't have the score, the other one forgot where he put it. They put it and they have to start calling the players to try to recreate the scorecard. So it's better to take a picture just right away, even if you didn't, because at least you have a copy of the scores. And then if your captain cannot attend, like what Maricela was talking about, a designated captain should be assigned to exchange the lineups and to get the scores and make sure they bring the scorecard to you. Let's see this. You know, share the match schedule. I think you share the match schedule and confirm the players' availability one before the match. Confirm the location, the time with the players. Ask the players to arrive 15 to 30 minutes earlier, so they get their own time and taking the traffic into consideration. And any emails that we send that you feel that is appropriate to share with the players, that would be great. So, and this is also a checklist. You can check it at your leisure for the new captains. To confirm things to confirm before the match, and also, and then after the match, and others. So anyone has any questions about the presentation?
So one thing I would say before, so Viola, how many, as we get to the fun part, how many of these questions do we have?
Well, Lance, how many, Lance?
I'm
So-
sorry, I'm not sure I understand what you're
The
asking.
gifts,
me,
the
Viola.
prizes.
For the tribe, we have some trivia questions for a gift card.
Right, so we have two based off the number of attendees we have.
Okay, so before we get to that, just a quick reminder to the captains. It would be a good thing if you make sure not only that you have a copy of the local league regulations, but go ahead and read through it to make sure if there are any questions on any of those regulations that might not have been answered tonight, because that's the thing that is the basis for how we play, how grievances are filed, all of that stuff. So encourage you to read through it. And now in the chat, put the answer to this, and whoever gets the answer in there first will win a gift card from Lance Anderson. So, what was the first Grand Slam title that Roger Federer won? French Open, Australian Open, or Wimbledon? Oh, Emily, that was. Oh, but John, let's see, I can't tell who won. I think John won on that. Okay, John came in first. Sorry, Emily. And the Wimbledon Championships. Yeah, but you have a typo. Okay, but we'll forgive you. The Wimbledon Championships began in which year? 1877, 1890, or 1905?
1905.
Yeah, it was 18. I don't know, you know, I think we've got to give that to Mario. He left out one of the sevens.
It was 1887.
He said 1870 versus.
No, it was 1877.
Sure, but I only gave him three choices.
Yeah, but that was,
Okay. Go ahead.
so Alex,
Alex Ho, you're the winner.
mhm.
Okay, Viola will give your
Hey, Pete.
email information to
Hey, Pete.
Lance.
Pete,
Yep.
'tis the holiday season. Do one more question.
Okay. One
Where
more
did you write? I
question.
can't see where to write.
Okay,
In the chat.
I don't see a chat.
so Viola, do you want me to do the John McEnroe one or?
Sure. That's a tough one, maybe, I
Okay,
think.
what Oscar-winning child star married professional tennis player John McEnroe in 1986? Wow, Mario,
I'm taking Mario
Okay.
to trivia with
it
me.
was Tatum O'Neal. Yes, okay. So Mario, you redeemed yourself. It is Alex Ho, Mario, and John are the three winners. And it's all yours if you want to wrap up, Viola.
Yeah, well, I'm writing down, say Alex, John, and Mario. That's writing them down. Well, the flights are gonna be posted starting with the 7:00 tomorrow, and I think that the 6:00 and the are almost done. So, and then I hope that you guys have a great season. And that start, January 6th. And wishing everybody a happy holidays too.
Thank you, you too. All the
Yeah, same
best.
to you. Same to
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thanks, everybody. Happy holidays.